Something's coming. Watch out!
Alright guys, as the long-awaited Resident Evil 8 Village is finally arriving to our doors and the hype is going higher day by day, what better time to go back and revisit one of the most underappreciated game in the series. Not only is this game right here a unique, grounded and action-oriented experience, but it is still to this day the best-selling Resident Evil game. Why is it? Well, first of all, people loved its previous installment, Resident Evil 4, so the excitement was there, and second, this game was very appealing to the general mainstream audience. Unlike its other predecessors and successors, this game is an action-adventure game and not an all-out horror survival. So it was the year 2005 when Capcom both developed and published Resident Evil 4. During that same year, Capcom also announced Resident Evil 5, however we had to wait 4 years later in 2009 to see Resident Evil 5 released for Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. And while Resident Evil 5 is a third-person shooter game, the previous installments were all horror survival third-person games, which is a pretty major change. Some people really didn't like the change, while some were positively surprised. The story of Resident Evil 5, even though completely different than anything else, was also quite liked. After Umbrella's apparent destruction, Umbrella, which is a secret society that mostly spread viruses around the world, a mysterious company called Trisoul takes its place. They have been conducting experiences with the locals in West Africa, and the STARS member Chris is sent to investigate what's going on. Along with his new partner Shiva, he will uncover a plot that menaces the whole world. The game itself is a pretty great improvement from what was used before in Resident Evil 4. The clunky controls were replaced and the creators added a more modern over-the-shoulder shooter camera, and also new mechanics were implemented. Still, the character movement is very clunky and the characters don't run, they just walk fast, which was a bummer, and the jumping and taking cover animations are made through interactions with the environment, which again is another bummer. Many people didn't notice though that Resident Evil 5 was the first game to use a virtual camera system, and although it initially received a positive reception, the game was criticized for its control scheme. Furthermore, Resident Evil 5 also received some complaints of racism. However, the British Board of Film Classification's investigation later revealed that these complaints of racism were unfounded, and some people only wanted to get their minutes of fame, just like so many people do these days. Surprisingly, this pretty underrated game went on to be a massive success. By the year 2020, more than 7.8 million units were sold. In fact, Resident Evil 5 again is the best-selling title of the Resident Evil franchise. You might have heard the fans of Resident Evil saying that this game ruined the series. For some, it might be true as it's really different, but for me, I embraced the change. Yes, it was surprising for gamers to witness the rapid evolution from survival horror to run and gun action games. However, I still decided to give it a try, and this project quickly went into my list of good games. For example, they really nailed the boss fights in this one, and even though the game is 12 years old right now, the overall gameplay and fighting doesn't feel too outdated. You get to fight Wesker, a massive bat/worm thing, and some other huge Ouroboros-standing monsters. The environments are not so varied, it's a lot of desert missions, but they're pretty well designed. Some of the great missions of Chris and Shiva takes us across the jungle and into a huge secret underground lab. You can use various weapons such as handguns, automatic rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and grenade launchers, and can also upgrade your weapons at any time without having to find a merchant. And this game was also the first one in the series to be designed for two-player co-op gameplay. You can control Chris and your friend can control Shiva. However, if you still want to play alone, Shiva will be controlled by the AI of the game. In the end, I must admit that this game was a dividing move by Capcom. Undoubtedly, this game lost any connection with its roots by going full-fledged co-op third-person shooter, with almost zero elements of the horror genre. However, Resident Evil 5 still did a great job at it. Simply put, Resident Evil 5 is one of the best action games of its year in 2009, and it happens to bear the name of a franchise associated with the survival horror genre.
Give me a hand! You need to be careful!
You grab it.
Okay,
Come on!
Roger. Help me! I owe you one.
Looks like we've arrived at the oil field.
Yeah, and Irving's not getting away this time.
Alright guys, that is all for today's video and thanks for watching it. If you also think that Resident Evil 5 is something that shouldn't be remembered as bad, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel to stay tuned on more revisit of games just like these. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you never miss any updates.